Hey everybody, Core Khan here, and we're going to be watching the final trailer for Stranger Things Season 2. And one of the things I like about this season so far is the marketing. The posters that have been coming out are awesome. Like, you've got this one at the bottom here. I mean, that looks great. The color schemes, the kids on the bike. And then the one at the top there, with the sheriff in the pumpkin patch, reminds me of kind of like Pumpkinhead, which was a movie that I really loved, but it was a cheesy movie. However, it was Stan Winston doing the creature effects, and I loved that, especially when I was younger. But it also kind of reminds me of a really dark and evil version of Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin Patch. I don't know why it reminds me of that, but it does. But they also had some other posters. They had one that was based on Alien, one that was based on Evil Dead, one on Firestarter, Goonies, and they had one that was based on Jaws, but it reminded me a lot of Tremors, because I really liked Tremors. And one based on Nightmare on Elm Street, one on Stand By Me, and finally one on The Running Man. And I thought it was really interesting and awesome that they made these posters that reflected those 80s movies, 70s and 80s movies, part of the pop culture of the 80s, because that's a huge part of the show. And they really embraced that. I thought that was great. So just wanted to mention those. I loved that. So let's get into this final trailer. Hopefully we'll see some more of the Upside Down, see what some of these creatures look like a little better. But let's just check it out, and then we'll go over it afterwards. Oh, is that where the waffles go? Yep. Oh, she didn't take them. Oh, there she is.
On Halloween night, there was a sort of shadow.
Whoa.
Maybe all this is happening for a reason.
That's a Stephen King show.
It's happening. It all leads back to here.
Yeah.
This thing. You said it was all in his head. And what have you done? Nothing. What is wrong with my boy?
I don't understand. I thought she was dead.
11 is back.
Thanks for reaching into our kids. If anyone else with this sort of thing, it's real.
Man, it looks so cinematic.
I think it's
More, I think, than the first season.
I really seem to hang out in the world about them.
It's not what it was before. It's grown.
It's just your day. This is why I need as much help as we can get.
Wow. Sean Astin.
You should go down. It's almost here.
Nice.
Still on that back? What back? Hold it down.
maybe it's because I haven't seen the show since it came out, season 1. I should probably go back and watch it before this comes out. But it feels like this season has more, I mean, it probably does have more money, but it feels a lot more cinematic than the first film. Like the first film felt more like more of a lower budget kind of kids movie. I mean, it had a decent budget, but I mean, it looked more like Goonies or Stand By Me, you know, more personal, I guess. That's probably what I'm trying to say. But this feels more cinematic, like Alien, like, I guess, Ghostbusters, since he was wearing the shirt. That's what the outfit I was thinking of, Ghostbusters. But it feels more cinematic, much more higher budget. But we see that 11 gets her waffles and that she has hair now. That looks really cinematic. I like that. The lights going down the road. It's very eerie. He's wearing the Ghostbusters outfit. So I'm assuming this is on Halloween night. And maybe he sees what they called the shadow, I guess. Look at that. That looks cool. So it's not a physical creature per se. It looks like it's what they called a shadow. So it can probably affect us in the real world, but almost like it's between dimensions. It's going to be cool. This is going to be a great show. But I guess the look of it is a little cleaner. Like, that's your quintessential kind of Stephen King shot, which ever since Stanley Kubrick's The Shining came out, they tend to have like an overhead shot of a car driving somewhere. Could be an homage to Stephen King. I like that his character is getting more attention. He was despised in the first half of season 1, I think, in my opinion. And then kind of grew on me and became this really great character in the second half. Look at that. That's awesome. I like that tunnel shot too. And we saw Sean Astin is in it. I keep forgetting his name. Looks great. I'm sold. I'm going to watch it as soon as it comes out. It comes out on Halloween. Netflix has been killing it with shows, except for a couple. But with Stranger Things, it was great. The Duffer Brothers, I think they're going to come out with another great season. So I'm excited. I want to see what kind of direction they go. It feels more like a horror movie style. I guess that's what I was trying to say. This feels more like a cinematic horror movie than it does the first season. The first season felt more like a cinematic kids type of film, like The Goonies and Stand By Me. This feels more like Jaws and Evil Dead. I mean, a lot of the posters, Nightmare on Elm Street, that's why they had the posters they did to set up this show, I guess. That makes a lot of sense now that I talked myself through that. Yeah, so the posters and the feel of the show as more of a cinematic horror film. So I'm excited. I want to see what direction they go. I'm liking that they're doing something different and not trying to recreate the first season. So I'm happy. I want to see what happens. But what do you guys think? Are you a fan of the first season? Are you excited for this season? Tell me your likes and dislikes. Comment below and let me know. Keep it civil down there. If you're on Vidme, upvote this. Give me a follow and share it around. And if you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. And I will see you on the next video.